Okay. Okay, so apparently he's off his meds today. No problem. Okay. Unidentified speaker. Yeah, I think it's Soul. Dispatcher. Okay, copy. So is this the
Okay. Hold on. So yeah. And then we go.
It's indiscernible.
I need an ambulance here. I'll get you a code 3 ambulance. I gotta write that down.
Copy, I'll get you a code 3 ambulance.
But it's not the dispatcher. Because it would be dispatcher.
Right.
Dispatcher,
Yeah, it says unidentified speaker, unidentified speaker. Unidentified speaker, send me a couple more cars. Dispatcher 841. Unidentified speaker, copy. 837, are you still early out?
So
What kind of supervisor? Unidentified speaker, police?
How do you know it's a dispatcher? How's the transcriber know it's a dispatcher? Probably because the voice.
Yeah, probably. We're having problems.
Cardiovascular medications, blood pressure drugs, cholesterol. We're in big trouble if we're using weed and drugs. That's on the news. I was distracted by the big leaf flashing on my TV screen. Okay, I think. Okay. The 911 call. Dispatch call. Has an unidentified speaker saying, what about the ambulance? I need.
Okay, here we go back again.
I need ambulance. What?
Yeah, it's I need an ambulance. It's 3806. I need an ambulance. Unidentified again. Copy. I'll get you a code 3 ambulance. I'll get you a code 3 ambulance. Unidentified speaker. Send me more cars. 841. Copy. 837.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about cars. I care about ambulance.
And then when they say police, like, yeah. Right.
I need an ambulance. I can keep on going because I'm writing a bunch of things.
Ow, my back. Okay.
I need an ambulance and other unidentified speaker response. Okay.
Barry, I'm tweezing my eyebrows.
Get you what?
I'm gonna tweeze my eyebrows. Oh no. Okay, I better. Whoops.
So, me right off the fucking phone.
I did. The laptop actually hung up on you.
Okay. All right. And another identified speaker responds, I'll get you an ambulance code 3.
Yeah. That's where there's a confirmation on that. And then this whole process of the police preempting the medical is problematic, isn't it, right?
Okay. All right. So let's read and see where it goes from here because we're going to go back 2 pages. Because I already stumbled on it because I'm a bum. Ambulance here, code 3. I'll get you a code 3 ambulance. Let's make sure I get my quote right. I'll get you I need more people. Dear Professor, I couldn't copy. What the fuck? What kind of supervisor? Oh, police supervisor. Oh, almost there. Thank you. I'm finished. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. And we're having problems as soon as you get up there. What's going on? We're having problems. What is that? Huh? Can you? Oh, look at all these numbers. 308, can you update? 3806, can you update? 3802, can you update? What the God? What the God? Copy 10-4. Thank you. Did you say a two in custody? That's what I copied. Did you ask those guys? Copy right here. Copy can reach him. What?
Oh man.
Look at this. This is great. He shows it 8380 Southeast Strawberry Lane in Milwaukee.
Yeah, what is he basically saying that's your address, or is this moving on to other stuff?
It's so fucked up. Copy 8380 Southeast Strawberry Lane in Milwaukee, 952. Information on caller. Calling for such units northeast floor. Including components of a guy who's been on the news who's supposed to have a locator braces on now is there. White male, gray hair, blue eyes, baseball cap. Information. This is just a dispatch.
Yeah.
575, what's the address of that last bell? The guy's supposed to be on Northwest Gleason from 4 to 5. I'll go check it out. Copy. Thank you, 995. 4528, we'll cover him. 4528, thank you. Can't discern him. I'll close by. I'll slide him out of the Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding out that flyer. I don't know what you're talking about. A guy who looks pretty close to the flyer. Well, he's wearing a green jacket. He's sitting back to Gleason. No. We're saying over bars. I'll be there in a second. Just keep your eyes on. Check his last name is Bailey, correct? I'm not familiar with who they're talking about. Dennis Bailey. Like, he's already read away. It's in the corner of the Gleason right now. This is my trial transcript for fuck's sake. It's my fault that the trial took a week. They said in the Court of Appeals because I represented myself. Yeah, well, going in the parking lot, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. He's got a tattoo like marijuana leaves on his right forearm. Supposed to have a marijuana tattoo in one of his arms. Holy shit. Thank you. Can we have a car back for transport? Is there somebody close or and Gleason who can assist with the transport? 820, we're almost there. Thank you. That's just information. Car going there. Out the room. Something the other police. David Meyer. Hey, thank you. Cover. He wants another car. What's an ambulance? Who wants an ambulance? It looks like the ambulance and fire truck are already on the scene and have determined that he needs you more. What scene? Oh, this call came in from security. Negative. It was a request from fire and EMS on scene. Well, I'll correct that. It looks like security called about the drunk guy. Asked for medical. Medical responded. Medical is asking for you. Gotcha. Stolen vehicle. I can't remember. Copy back on a stolen vehicle. He's talking about the car. Wow, he can remember. Yeah, that's another call. Stolen vehicle is different. I'll show what I want. And the car. Thanks. I'll put you back on that. Accident Southeast 13th in the Hill. Got a report of a car into a tree. The tree is blocking kind of road. Awesome! How exciting. Okay, Jail now that we're going to have at least one coming down, possibly two that are uncooperative. We'll do. What's your ETA there? About 2 blocks. So that's us. That's me a key. Because we're the only ones 2 blocks from the jail. Oh, that's the end of it. So we don't know about the ambulance. Where's the ambulance again? What's like 918 maybe, huh? No.
Bear, you got my brain. You get my brain cells warmed up. But I had this idea when I did my landlord lawsuit. I submitted probably 20 or 30 items as digital evidence to the courts. those things haven't been published on my blog, but I think it's time to. I don't have to do it while we're on the phone, but it's kind of annoying me because the crazy little landlord tried to submit these like irrelevant text messages. Then he tried to gain a gag order basically, and I was like, "Fine, you can gag your evidence. Nobody wants your irrelevant text messages anyway." And but my evidence I don't believe was gagged, and then I believe the judge forgot to write a gag order, or she just kind of trusted me that I'm not gonna, because he was all like, she's gonna put this on her blog, and I'm like, no, I don't want to put your text messages on the blog. So but my evidence I think is more interesting because they also it kind of I write little like synopses, so I'm interested in my
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So I've got like my work cut out for me if I want to keep uploading stuff to my landlord blog, my malicious landlord blog. I just want to like put like malicious in parentheses next to everything I've ever done because I'm just mystified that this lady judge views me that way. She's sort of like at this point like a school teacher or something. Like I'm like, really? That's and it's almost like it's that wishful thinking. Does she want to demonize me because she wants to see me as this like glamorously evil type person? And I'm like, if you've been watching too many movies, Judge Matthias, like, why are you thinking of it in these highly dramatic constructs? It's like anti oppression is not malicious. I'm anti oppression, not malicious. But anti oppression is malicious to maybe destructive, sinister capitalism at its worst, that's crushing the poor and everything. So yeah, like maybe that's how they. It's just a form of demonization of me, and it's bugging the heck out of me, Barry. I'll admit it. It really is.
What is?
This judge tried to basically tell me I won my case, but I get no damages because I'm a malicious blogger. So I mean, this is a matter of
That's
pennies.
ridiculous.
This is
Okay.
like I could have maybe be owed any. I was gonna be happy with like $1,000 or whatever, like whatever her adjustment was for the reduction of habitability. It was an extremely uninhabitable apartment. It wasn't just like one little problem. It was like so many problems, and she
Mm-hmm.
essentially basically has confiscated my winnings as a tax on my blogging. That I mean, there's a principle in courts of equity: if you don't you have to come with clean hands to a court of law if you expect damages. And she's trying to invoke that principle, which I get, that you've got to be honest and fair with the courts. But by her choosing to demonize my blogging, that's where she's trying to say I'm coming to the courts without clean hands. And I'm like, au contraire, my blog is ultra like integrity focused and accountability focused, because this landlord is expecting like a top secrecy type operation where he screws everybody over, rips everyone off, gets people to wire him money. Like he's doing fraudulent, scammery things. So my writing about that is not the problem. The problem is it's like she's kind of redirecting the blame back onto me, where the blame should not be placed on the journalist who's writing about a problem property. But essentially, it's like kind of a punitive treatment because of my journalistic exploits. Like, okay, so you're going to be treated, and like, and basically, I had told her any award you're giving me, I'm giving to the fire department anyway. So yeah, of course, anyone could use money to pay their bills. But I was so disgusted with the mendacity of this landlord that I was washing my hands of his money. Like, supposing I did earn an award, because I think probably she could. I think she could have given me like a $200 a month habitability discount for the loss of electricity, damaged food, when food would spoil, when the refrigerator would go out, things like that, hotel expenses, moving expenses, storage expenses, damaged electronics expenses. All of that was negated by my blogging. And furthermore, this man was destroying cell phones with his electrical surges. So for me to use my blog to upload information was, I said it was cloud storage, but I meant literally I am in a crisis uploading information onto the common internet because I need to have access in case my computers get fried in his power surges. And then like my blogging is so sinister, and I'm like, well, I don't want other people to be hurt. He's hurting people by taking their money and not giving them the product. So, Yeah, well, here are my two options. Of course, I can make another judicial complaint, which I doubt she really wants to go through that again. But I was thinking I can make a more comprehensive judicial complaint that summarizes her history of knowing me, why other cases she's ruled on will cause her to have this prejudice against me, how this is culminating in her refusing to recuse, and my refusing to force her to recuse or beg her to recuse, partially because I knew, well, maybe she won't recuse and then she'll just be even more angry at me and still keep my case. So fear of retaliation from the judge was a reason why I didn't ask for a recusal. And so then,
What?
this is a small town, Barry. It's like we have three judges. Like we have a gorgeous courthouse, though. I mean, they've occupied it. It would make a good ballroom. Like you could have like a beautiful. It's like Gone with the Wind, Victorian architecture. It's lovely, but I think the thing that I'm worried. I guess what? Okay, somebody texted me. This really cool dude, Doug. He texted me. Well, I hope she's not against your blogging in like a Khashoggi sense. And I was like, yeah, I was just thinking about Khashoggi. It's a little bit. It's more than disturbing when a judge tries to say you don't get equity. You don't get a court of equity because you are a blogger. Because in this day and age, that means like 80 to 90% of the population has a Facebook or a Twitter or some kind of Instagram or something. So if you blog about something, then you have no rights. It's almost like nullifying the whole Oregon revised statute pertaining to habitability. Is that there's now this new class of people called, three generations of people on social media are now all have no rights when it comes to exploitation. So my other thought was, well, maybe I should talk to the Oregon Law Project and see what their ideas are, because I think I'll get a chance to talk to them in a few days when they're in town. So maybe talk to Oregon Law Project, make a judicial complaint. My other more moderate stance was write the judge a letter. The other option is just back
No,
off and
don't
like
write the judge a letter.
write the judge a letter. Yeah, and just be like, you're
No,
real.
don't write the judge a letter.
Don't. Okay.
No. You can't have ex parte communication with a judge.
Well, it's post case. Now it's just more like,
Doesn't matter.
okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right? What do you think?
Okay. Okay,
I
fine.
wrote a letter to the judge. They never got it.
Yeah, I
I
know.
wrote it from jail.
It's
It's legal
idealistic.
mail.
Well, it's
You know what I
ideal.
said? I wrote the Judge Waller from jail, and she never got it.
Well, my other thought was do nothing, just simmer and accept the insult, accept the humiliating insult and just think about it and then just show up to a bunch of her cases, like for instance the this pedophile being retried case or whatever.
She have that one?
Yeah, yeah. And she had it before. So her admission of the supposedly inadmissible hearsay evidence was a point of contention in the appeals process. Basically, his attorneys have like alleged judicial misconduct, like more technical things than the things no, my things are technical too, but like my allegation to the Judicial Commission is that she violated the actual Oregon revised statute on stalking order proceedings, that your proceeding is to happen in 30 to 60 days. She completely just blew it out of the water, like he's never going to have to show to court. We're going to put all the burden on the victim. And that was an undue burden on the victim. Victims are supposed to have no fees, and I believe fees include like taxation of time and energy, with basically making 3,000 pages of copies for his attorney or whatever kind of burden. Basically, she was violating the Federal Violence Against Women Act by giving special treatment to a sex pest at the Parks District. And calling someone a sex pest protector, I guess, isn't very polite, or it's sort of like, yeah, it's glaringly obvious that that's what she's doing. So when I went into her court on this landlord thing, it was like, I just have kind of a conflicted thing with her because I like her. She's very kind of down to earth, and I don't know. Like all our judges are different. I think McIntosh is the one who I would trust more. And I should have probably recused and tried to get it into McIntosh's court, but I've never recused, and I don't know, or tried to have a judge recused. And then I just think it would have led to I was giving Matthias a chance to redeem herself, and she barely did. She basically did like a very nice write up of the case with a nice, a few praise. But then she also said that my approach towards documenting all this egregious wrong at the apartment were hyper vigilant, which is code word for because I know you're a domestic violence victim, I think you're being overly sensitive. That's what she's basically trying to do. She's trying to disorderize me and slur me as pathologize me instead of taking me seriously. And yeah, I'm detail oriented. Sorry. Like I'm so intelligent. I'm like too intelligent for your Mr. Slumlord dude. And I just I didn't need my feelings hurt anymore by this judge, but it like doesn't really matter because it's not even like the money, it's the principle of her using the case to just take some swipes, whatever, at me because she has this prior bitterness about me reporting her to the Judicial Commission. But it's almost like she was sort of like, when someone's like, now she's going to control it. She was like overly fair in the courtroom because she knows I've already reported her. Like, but what it does, she does is she basically has this very careful, like, get through 7 pages, and then she just starts to lash out her aggression in like the last few lines of the case. And I'm like, I gave you a chance to be fair. Don't blow it, lady. But then she has to snipe at me.
Did she write that you weren't getting an award because you're malicious blogging?
Yes, my malicious blogging has prevented me having a court of equity. And she's decided that I'm malicious, even though I'm willing to.
Did she write that in opinion?
Yeah, and I think I should forward it to Judicial Commission because it's ridiculous. It's such a violation of rights,
okay.
Right?
Okay, don't do that until after you read yourself blue in the face on Article 1, Section 8 and Article 1, Section 26.
Right, and I've caught, yeah. Right.
No, wait. Start with what I'm going to tell you now, and then I got to get back to my work here.
Okay.
Fuck your judge, right? I got eggs to fry. I'm talking about this. It's going to be a federal case if I have anything to say about it. No, I think I'm going to win. So help me out here.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, so here's what I'm going to tell you. I already gave you okay. I learned a new word. It's called catastrophizing.
Catastrophizing. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just picked that one up. And